Hello, my name is Chanel and welcome to my YouTube channel, Convos and Moments with Chanel. In this video, I was just going to discuss the pros and cons of college. Yes, there are some negatives or cons to going to college. College can be a very beautiful experience that can set you up for the future, but it also has its stresses and consequences if you do not navigate through it correctly or focused. So, the pros or the positive things that I personally found about college or I gathered from talking to other people who have the experience is basically the experience of being exposed to different cultures and backgrounds. Two, I would say it's the future you can provide for yourself and your family. And three is making your family and your friends proud. A lot of times when you're growing up in your neighborhood, you might not necessarily be exposed to many cultures and backgrounds. And when you go to college, it is like the melting pot. And it's like everybody is from different backgrounds, cultures, and everything. And we're all exposed to each other. And it helps mold your characteristics and how you navigate in the world. So I will say that is like an awesome, feature to go into college. Experiencing different people and being exposed to different people. Two, when I mention the future, now let me tell you, college can have a successful result for your future, or you could also struggle. College does not necessarily guarantee you a successful future. I know people who have went to school and they are struggling. And I know people who did not go to school, such as college, and they are very successful. So I will say, if you stay focused, you're in the right circles of people, because let me tell you something. Learning is a beautiful thing, but sometimes it's always not about what you know, but who you know. So sometimes when you go to these schools, if you can really network and know the right people, that can also help you too. College will definitely mold your future, but it all depends on how you interact and maneuver throughout those 2 or 4 years. That will determine if you're successful or struggling. And sometimes you might be in one category and slip into the other. You might be successful and then you find yourself struggling. Or you might be struggling and then you find success. So always look for the brighter end of it. But just know to take your college education seriously, especially because it costs you money. A lot of people, it gets very expensive, so you definitely want to take it seriously because it is costing you money. The third pro or positive thing I would say about college and the college experience is making your family and your friends proud. I don't know anybody who would go up to their family and friends and say, oh, I'm going to college, I'm researching, I want to major in this is the field I'm passionate about. And they would be like, oh, why do you want to go? Or why do you want to do that? I don't know anybody who had that reaction. Now, people might be a little reserved when you bring up the topic because people are learning how expensive college education can be, and they are also scared about you being away for a long distance of time. So it is understandable, but for the most part, when you discuss with people, family and friends that you're interested in college, they're going to be very proud of you, and that always feels good when you are making your family and friends proud of you. Now, the cons. Yes, college is a beautiful experience, and it has its positive, but there are also some negatives. And the negatives that I personally believe are basically how expensive it is, job placement and internship placement troubles, and also peer pressure. I was lucky. I went to Malloy College for 4 years. It's located in Rockville Center, New York. I lived in Hempstead, New York at the time. So I went to an in-state school. So I didn't have to, look into dorms and traveling. But I was very lucky because I was able to join a program. I can't remember the name of the program. Like I said, I graduated in 2017, so that was quite a while ago. But I was in a program where they basically monitored my GPA. I had to attend certain events and, just be a model student. And it afforded me a way to basically have most of my tuition paid. So when I graduated from Malloy College of 4 years, my student loan debt was only $12,000. That is peanuts compared to what a lot of people say that their student loans actually are. So that's basically around $3,000 a year. Now, I cannot imagine how it feels to pay a student loan that is $70, $80, $90,000. And one thing about student loans in the IRS, they do not play. They want their money. And could you only imagine having to pay a big student loan back when you're trying to graduate, buy your first car, your first apartment? Some people, when they graduate from college, they're already engaged. So now you're trying to get an apartment or a house with your partner. And it's like to already have this stress of a student loan that has a large payment. That's a lot on a person's shoulder. So I will say that a con to college, depending where you go, how much aid you get, and how much money you have towards your education, the expensiveness of it will stress you out. Number two, the con or problem that I see with college is the job placement and also the internship placement troubles. When you graduate from school and you know that you paid a lot of money to go, you stayed dedicated, you stayed focused, it is almost heartbreaking to not be able to find a job in your field, especially when you have bills. The average person, when they're 21, they at least have their car, they're living on their own maybe. They have their cell phone. You have to buy groceries. So now on top of these responsibilities, you stayed focused, went to school, and you mean to tell me when I graduate, I can't find a job in my field that I was passionate about, that I paid for? But it is happening. It really is. And for some people, you actually go to school with one thought of what you want to do, and you actually find out that you don't even want to do it. Me, when I was first going to school, I was on this high horse that I wanted to be a lawyer. I loved the field. I love seeing the people in that career. And then when I started taking a couple of paralegal courses, I just found that it wasn't for me and it was kind of stressful. But I am thankful for the skills that I did gain from taking my paralegal courses and also from my majors and minors. I majored in criminal justice and I minored in political science and philosophy. And it's crazy because it's like now what I'm doing with myself, it's kind of not even close to those majors and minors that I had. I'm a virtual assistant, so I provide administrative assistance to small businesses and individuals. And if you need assistance or know somebody, please visit www.keepcalmhirechannel. Again, my company is called Keep Calm Hire Chanel. I'm a virtual assistant. But it's just kind of funny how I was like on this law school streak and just wanted to be a lawyer, and now it's like I'm a virtual assistant. But I'm like so happy about it, and being a support system to companies and individuals, it's just my passion. Like, I love it. I work remotely from my computer. Anywhere there's Wi-Fi or I have my internet connection, I work. I use all the programs such as Skype, and I love it. So sometimes college can be a learning experience. I thought I was going to be a lawyer, and now today I am a virtual assistant providing administrative assistance. But that was a tough transition, but you know what? I got through it. I'm thankful, and everything worked out. I can't complain. Now, the thing with job placement and internships, you would think that after you graduate, you know, you show yourself that you were focused, this is your field, this is your passion. You would think that when you apply, you would automatically get these jobs, especially if you qualify. But one of the things that these people are using to qualify for some of these positions is experience. And how do you have experience when you just graduate and you're trying to get the experience now? So then that bounces back on the thing of internships. They say, oh, well, you didn't do any internships during school? And the thing is, internships can be paid and they can be unpaid. Most of the times, internships, depending on what field you go to, is going to be during business hours. And if you're going to school during those hours, how are you going to internship anywhere? Then number two, how are you going to internship when you need to make money? Some people can't even take advantage of an internship because it's not paid. So you have the catch-22 of, do I take this internship where I'm not getting paid and get some experience? Or do I just keep on going to work so I can make my money to survive? So that's a catch-22. And you have to really research that and see if you're going to work during school, if you have enough money to sustain yourself. Maybe you have some parents that are helping. Maybe you had that college education fund, you know, started by your parents and it's holding you down. That is also great. But for whatever reason, you really have to research your field that you're going into. And if you could just really make sure it's your passion, that really works out in your favor. Because when I mean the job market is changing in so many ways, you have to keep up with it or you're going to be left in the dust. The third con that I would say with college is peer pressure. A lot of times when you go to college, this is a time when you're actually not around your parents for the first time 24/7, and that peer pressure is real. Especially if you go to a big school that is like a known party school. A lot of times people have not even experienced drugs or alcohol, and when you get to college, the peer pressure is real. You want to look cool in front of your friends. You don't want to seem like you were part of the awkward crowd. You don't want to disappoint, your schoolmates who are trying to vouch for you and get you on the in crowd. It's just a whole lot of pressure. And depending on the situation or the things involved, you can get expelled from school. You get OD on drugs. It's just a whole lot of stuff. So I would just say, have a relationship with your kids where they really discuss this stuff with you so that when they go, they know if it's for them or not and how it affects them in their future. So that's just my feedback on the pros and cons of college. I would love to know what are your positive thoughts on school and your negative thoughts. Again, just as a summary, the positive things I thought about college was basically the experience, being exposed to different people, the future you can provide to yourself once you really network, get into your field, find your passion, and also making your friends and your family proud. But unfortunately, the problems with going to college is the expensiveness of it, which causes stress later because you still have to pay it back. The job placement and internship issues, and also the peer pressure. So I would love to know your tips, how you got through school. I would even like to know if you actually stayed in your field that you went to school for. Like I said, I majored in criminal justice. I minored in philosophy and political science. And my career now, I have my company in, is a virtual assistant where I provide administrative assistance. So it's kind of like the opposite, spectrum. But it worked out for me. It was a struggle at first, but I'm thankful I went through it and also got through it. So please like this video, look at my other videos, and see you next video. Bye-bye.